Hi there, and welcome back to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial where I'm going to be teaching you, yes you, Algebra 1. And in this video, we're going to be looking at exercise number 2 on exponential functions, where it says that we want to identify the y-intercept and growth or decay factors for each of the following. So again, we were given this general form of an exponential function back in exercise number 1 video. And this a value is going to represent our y-intercept, and this b value is going to be our growth or decay factor. So based on these equations, we want to state that y-intercept and what that growth or decay factor is. So in part A, we have 8 times 2 to the power x. And our y-intercept is going to be 8 because that's taken the place of the a value. So our y-intercept is 8. And our growth factor is going to be 2, which means that this function is doubling. It's multiplying by 2 every single time. So that brings us to part B, where we have y equals 460 times 10 to the x, and our y-intercept is going to be 460. And then we're going to multiply by 10 every time from there. So our growth factor is going to be 10. Now we're going to go to part C, where we have f of x is equal to 100 times 1/2 to the x. So again, our y-intercept is going to be the coefficient, which is 100. And now we're going to be multiplying by 1/2 every time. So it's going to be half as big every time. So it's actually going to be decaying if we're taking half as much each time. And that's going to be a decay factor of 1/2. And now this part D is tricky because it's not exactly in the form of y equals a times b to the x, but we definitely have a b to the x. So we definitely know that we're growing. We have a growth factor of 8. But what is our y-intercept? And we look at the coefficient for the y-intercept, but we don't see a coefficient. So this actually can be rewritten as f of t is equal to 1 times 8 to the t. Just like if we just had f of t is equal to, I'll write it over here, if we just had f of t is equal to t, that would be the same thing as 1 times t, right? Same logic here. If it's 8 to the t, we have a 1 as a coefficient there. We could also find our y-intercept by finding where t equals 0. And if we put a 0 in for t here, we'd get 8 to the 0. And we know from our 0 exponents lesson that 8 to the 0 is also equal to 1. So either way you're looking at this, you're going to get that your y-intercept is going to be 1. Now we've identified the y-intercept and growth or decay factors on 4 different scenarios here. And I hope that this was helpful in letting you see how to figure out your y-intercept and growth or decay factor. If it was helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, and you're now ready for exercise number 3. Thank you for watching.